Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about concept of container and we will learn how exactly it works and what are the benefits of container technology. If you want to go through the complete course, you can purchase these courses from my website, that is techlearning.spy.com. All the information is given in the description. If you want to check out the course content, just click on course and click on preview. So left hand side you can see all of the course contents. Other than individual courses, course packages are also available where you can find out the decent discount on these courses. Let's get back to our topic.
If we start from the very first point, if you are in IT industry from last more than 10 years or 15 years, you might have observed that initially we used to purchase the server. On that server we used to deploy one operating system, and finally on a single server we used to deploy a single application. Like if you want to create an active directory, okay, so what you will do, you might have purchased a single server, single operating system, and over that we used to deploy that. So what was the drawback of this basic architecture is that because a application use maybe 50% of the overall resources what physical server is offering. Okay, so in that case, 50% of the resources are wasted. So when I'm talking about the resources, these are your hardware resources like CPU, RAM, hard disk. Okay, so suppose in that server there was around 64 GB of RAM, but your application is just using 10 GB, 15 GB. The rest of the RAM was just like a wastage. Okay, later this it was thought that it can be improved in a much better way, that we can utilize the resources more efficiently. So the concept of virtualization came into the market, and when this virtualization concept came into the market, it changed everything. Okay, so first of all, what is this virtualization? So normally it is the same physical server. If you focus on this left hand side diagram, this is a physical server. Okay, and where this infrastructure is written, it is your physical resources of the physical server, like your RAM, CPU, hard disk, okay, and other hardware component. And what we do in this virtualization concept, over this we install the hypervisor. Hypervisor is a generic term. There are so many companies, those are giving this hypervisor product. VMware is one of the leading. You might have heard about the VMware courses. So we learn about this hypervisor only, like how to manage all this virtualization setup. Correct? So we are discussing about the overview. So on our physical server, on the bare metal, we install the hypervisor. Hypervisor is just like a software or a piece of software. Okay, we install it on the physical server. Now, with the help of this hypervisor, what we do, we create the virtual machine. In this example, you can see that in a single server, we have created three virtual machines here. So what is happening? There are three instances of virtual machines. So each virtual machine has its own operating system. In one virtual machine, you can put Windows. In other, you can put the Linux as per your requirement. If you want to put only Linux, only Windows, anything you can do, right? So basically, in one physical server, we have created three virtual machine. On three virtual machine, we have three operating system, and finally on this operating system we have deployed our three application: application 1, application 2, and application 3. Can we only install only one application? No, we can install multiple application. Like our laptop, that is also a physical machine, right? We have installed so many application on that. But when we are talking about the servers, usually the best practice uh, in the real-time deployment is that do not install multiple application into the same operating system. Let's say we are talking about the Active Directory. If we deploy Active Directory on any of the machine, we do not deploy anything else, because there might be a conflict, and Active Directory is a very critical service, and so many things are dependent on that. Okay, so it is never recommended that in one machine you deploy the multiple application here. So that is the reason in this diagram, three different virtual machine, three different application has been installed. Correct. Now application, when we install an application, actually, application run on some binary file and some library files. For the execution of this application, we need couple of binary and library and some system files also, right? Now, when this concept came into the market, it changed everything, as I said, and it was very cost efficient and revolutionary kind of technology was this one, virtualization. But later it was realized that, okay, for a application, we do not require complete operating system here. To run this application, we just need few binary file and library files. Then why we are installing this whole operating system? Because when we deploy this whole operating system, there are a couple of drawbacks. The first drawback is that, let's say here we have three applications, so we have created three virtual machine, and in three virtual machine we have deployed three operating system. So there is a cost of this license. So number one, cost is involved. Second thing, the size of operating system is huge. The size of operating system at least will be in GB. Okay. So if size is more, it is going to occupy the more space, and also to process the operating system. When you reboot operating system, to run a operating system, we need a lot of physical resources. So one is the license cost. Second, it is occupying so many resources from your physical server. Okay, second thing. Third thing, the because it need more resources, more hard disk. So what happens? This operating system makes this virtual machine concept very heavy. Heavy in the sense, when you reboot this virtual machine, it takes at least 1 minute or 2 minutes to reboot it. When this concept came into the market, 1 or 2 minutes was very less. Okay, people were surprised that within a 1 minute your machine is getting rebooted. Okay, but now as technology improved, even this 1 minute is also very long time. Okay, now when it was realized that, okay, to run an application we do not require complete operating system, we just need binary and library file, then why should we not only deploy binary and library files when we are deploying the application, and we should eliminate this operating system part totally from this overall concept, right? So what will be the benefit? Whatever are the drawbacks of this overall concept will become the benefit. One thing is that it is going to save money for you because this operating system license has been removed. Second thing, if operating system has been removed, it is going to occupy less resources. If it is occupying the less resources, okay, you can more efficiently use this hardware. Fine. So what happened? The concept of container came into the market. Now, what is the concept of container now? Just focus on the right hand side picture. It is the same physical server. The physical server is same. This is the infrastructure where your CPU, hardware, hard disk, RAM, everything is connected. On this infrastructure, instead of hypervisor, we install the operating system here. Okay, it can be a Linux operating system, it can be a Windows operating system also. Correct. On this operating system, we install a application that is known as the container engine. And container engine is just like a generic name. Like hypervisor is like a generic name. There are a lot of companies, those are giving the hypervisor product. Similarly, container engine is also like a generic name. And there are many companies in the market, those are providing this container engine. Docker is one of the famous company and the leading product in this container business. Correct. So let's say this is a container here. Okay. On operating system, we install this container engine, that is we can assume that's a Docker in this case here. Fine. Now, what we do with the help of this container engine or Docker, we can create the container. Here we have created three container 1, container 2, and the container 3. So what we have done in this container, we have eliminated this operating system totally, because we know that to run an application we just need binary and library file, then why we need this operating system? So we have eliminated this, and inside this container you will have only application, and to run that application required binary, library, and system files will be deployed inside it. So what are the benefit? The operating system cost has been eliminated, resource will be less utilized. Okay. Also, if less resources are utilized, you can create more number of container on the same physical server here. Correct. And the size of this container is also very small. The size mostly the size of container is in MB megabyte. And when you reboot these container, it takes just a second to restart. Okay, and this container is a very big topic. There are dedicated courses around this container, Docker and container. Okay, there you learn about the different command which is required to deploy these container, how to create this container, how to deploy the images inside it. So it's a huge course. Container and Docker is a separate course. But now we are understanding this container from the Azure point of view. Azure is saying that no need to means go through those commands. We have provided container as a service here. You just fill up your information, whatever you need, you just fill up that and pay the amount. Rest of the things will be taken care by the Azure in this case. Okay, so this is a broader overview of the container. I hope this concept is clear up to this point. Let's move and zoom in to this container diagram here. When we talk about the internal architecture, how exactly this container works, so this is the diagram. Okay, this overall is your physical server. On this physical server, you have your you have RAM, CPU, and the hard disk. On this physical server, now you have installed the operating system. Okay, on this operating system, you have installed container engine. Example is Docker. Okay, now with the help of this container engine, we are creating container here. So this is my first container and this is my second container. So whenever we create a container, actually, we need something called as image here. So in this image only, you will get all of these binary files, system files, okay, and the libraries files. So if you want to relate it with this one, here we have the operating system. In case of the virtual machine, we deploy first operating system. On the operating system, we deploy our application. But in case of container, we deploy this image. So there is a difference between operating system and image. Don't get confused. This is not operating system. This is a technical term, image. Okay. And in this image, you will have all the necessary files which is required to execute one application here. Now, once image is deployed inside the container, then finally we can deploy our application. So the question is that from where we can get these images? You know about the operating system, how you get this operating system. You can purchase this from the vendor website. Okay. If you have the licenses, you can use it. But from where should I get these images? So there is something called as the repositories. Okay. So what happened? These are the public repository. Suppose I am a developer. I have created one image. I can upload my image into this repository so that if anybody need those images, they can deploy inside the container. Also, different vendors, different companies also create their specific images and upload here. And from this repository, we can download it to our container. Now, there are multiple repositories in the market, and let me show you one of the repository that is known as, if you just go here and type Docker Hub. So this is one of the repository. So you have to create one account here to log in. I have already created and I'm already logged in inside this one. So if you search for any image, let's say I'm searching for the image with the name of Ubuntu. Ubuntu is not operating system. Ubuntu is the image here in this case. Don't get confused between both of them. Both are totally different things. So this is an image and it will tell you that it is a Linux based system based on free software. And if you want to download this Ubuntu, this is the command, docker pull Ubuntu. Okay, and this command will be useful when actually you are learning this overall course container. So that time you will learn how to use this command, and through that how you are going to download it on inside your container. Here we will not use this because we are doing it through the Azure, and Azure has simplified a lot of things for us. So these are the technical details regarding what is this image and what are the technical aspect of this particular image. So not only this one, there are a lot of images from the Microsofts also. So you can see there are a lot of images. Okay, if you open any of the image, so they will give you the command also how you can download it inside your container, and other thing is your technical specification. Fine. So all these are your images. Now, when you get into this Docker Hub, what is Docker Hub? Docker Hub is like a repository, public repository. Okay. So there are two type of repositories here. One is called private repository and second is called public repository. Suppose I am a developer and I developed one image. Okay. Now I uploaded that image inside this Docker Hub. Okay, so first what I need to do, I have to come here and I have to create a repository. So when we create a repository, it will give me an option that whether you want to create a private repository or the public repository. If I create a private repository, in that case, that image which I am going to upload here, that will only be visible to me. Okay, nobody else can see that. That is like my private repository. If you deploy it as a public repository, that image will be visible to the whole world. Anybody can download it, anybody can utilize it. Fine. So this is the case. So this thing you should keep in your mind. There are two kind of repository, private and public. Private means only for you. Public means you have made it public for the whole world, your image. Okay. So now come back to this diagram once again. So with the help of this container engine, okay, I have created a container, then I deployed an image. From where I got this image? I got this image from the repository. Let's see, suppose this is your Docker Hub. From this Docker Hub, you will download this image inside this container. Once image is deployed, then you deploy this application here. Fine. And you can see something written as a kernel. Now, what is kernel? Kernel is a main component of the operating system which is responsible for the alignment of the hardware resources to any process. Now, what is the meaning of this statement? If you go to your laptop task manager, you can see multiple processes are running here. Like if I'm running my Zoom meeting, okay. So this Zoom meeting, when it is running, it is utilizing around 10% of my CPU. It is also utilizing 129.8 MB and it is fluctuating every second. Okay. It is utilizing zero point 0.1 MB. Now it means that to run this application or to run this process here, I need this much resources. And who is going to align these resources? This is the responsibility of the kernel. Where is the kernel? Kernel is the part of the operating system. I have Windows 10 on my laptop. On that Windows 10 operating system, there is kernel, and kernel is basically assigning these hardware resources to my process here. So kernel is the overall supervisor of your hardware component in your system. If you connect any peripheral, let's say you have connected this mouse also, right? So this mouse, who is managing this mouse? This is also managed by the kernel here. Whatever peripherals you connect with your server or with your laptop, it is managed by the kernel. So when I'm running this mouse in this task manager or any of the application, so this is actually done by the kernel here in this case. So if you come back to this diagram, when I run this container, to execute this container, I need RAM, I need CPU, I need the hard disk, everything is required. So who is going to assign these resources to these containers? So that is the responsibility of your kernel. And this kernel is shared by all of the container. Let's say in this diagram, I have two containers. So both of the containers are sharing this kernel, and this kernel is basically responsible to provide hardware resources which is required to execute or to run these container here. So each VM include a separate operating system. So VM means virtual machine. In the concept of virtualization, we have seen that virtual machine will have a separate operating system and it adds overhead in memory and storage. Fine. Each container share the host OS kernel. Just now we saw that kernel is shared by the all the containers. Okay. Shared components are read-only. You cannot modify anything. These are in the read-only state. Container are the exceptionally light. They are only megabyte in size. Take just second to restart. As I told you that operating system has been eliminated in case of container. So the size will be exceptionally light, means very low, and it is just in megabytes. And if you want to restart any container, it will just take few seconds. But if you talk about the virtual machine, size of virtual machine in B will be in GB, and it will take minute to restart your virtual machine. And a container provide a way to virtualize an operating system so that multiple workload can run on a single operating system. VM, the hardware is being virtualized to run the multiple operating system. So it means that when we are talking about this virtualization technology, in this virtualization technology, actually your hardware is getting virtualized with the help of hypervisor. But in case of container technology, your operating system is getting virtualized. Okay, because on single operating system you are deploying multiple container here, and the kernel is serving all of the containers. So basically you are virtualizing your operating system. This is the basic difference between the core technology of both of these two prominent technologies here. Now, what is image? The image is comprised of system libraries, system tool, and other platform setting. A software program. Software program means application need to run. A container image is an unchangeable static file that include executable code, so it can run an isolated process on the information technology infrastructure. Now, the main function of the kernel are the following: manage RAM memory so that all program and running processes can work, manage the processor time, which is used by the running process. So, if I'm talking about the process, it means application. When you are running any application in the backend, application run in the form of the process only. Okay. Manage access and use of the different peripherals connected to the computer. As I gave you the example of mouse, that's a peripheral like mouse. If you connect any peripheral to your device, this is managed by the kernel.